This might be quick, but a thought came to mind, and it had to do with deja vu, and something has stuck with me. And I'm not sure if I've already talked about it in this sense. Maybe deja vu is the future catching up on you. I used to work at Wendy's. Um, I used to work at Wendy's, right? But also I've been to this Wendy's, so I'm familiar with the place, right? So I've been to Wendy's inside and I've worked there, right? Uh, I remember there's like this little like counter where the trash and the condiments are at and stuff like that, and napkins. I uh I opened the bottom to I opened the bottom cabinet to throw out the trash, and something hit over me where it felt like I've been there before. Deja vu. And that's as much as I that's been like that has stuck with me for a while. I don't know why. Obviously, there's obviously other deja vu moments I probably had. I just don't remember it. I just know I remember this one because it just felt weird. It just felt like the deja vu was so prominent, and it could deal with memory. The thing I speak about memory. Maybe these are deliberate things that your memory wants you to remember later down the road. In this case, they probably want me to keep remembering this because this is more easier to remember, but also just be as point blank while any deterioration, while it being complex. It's just as simple as I open it, ready to throw out the trash, and I just remembered feeling like I've witnessed this experience before. And I think this is like this one podcaster, and it just depends because sometimes it could be maybe I seen this person in real life and I didn't just didn't register at the time who this person was until this podcaster became more of a prominent person inside socials. But it could be that because it could be that I'm not remembering recall because I know in my where I work at, there's sometimes there's people who are like kind of famous who uh who go to where I work at. So it could be that could just be that. Then we had a conversation and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. But it's one of those weird things. It's like am I going crazy or whatever? But it's one of those things where I'm like, I think we're talking about deja vu. You ever have that feeling like you've met before, or there's something about you that you can't explain, but you're like, I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere, and it's not like I think I've listened to Joe Rogan and maybe I'm like how you say it, manifesting one day being a be on his show and we caught. There's never been that feeling of I guess more or less probably because he's recall, but there was never a feeling in some of these other cases where I recall where it doesn't feel like oh recall. I don't know how to explain that feeling because it's a feeling. It's like I guess the best way to explain it is you're like you meet somebody. It's like you feel like it feels like I've known you from somewhere. I don't know where, and I guess that would be maybe your spiritual You might have lived another life, and these people are finally coming up together and meeting each other for the first time. Or it could be you finally caught up to your future, and now you're right here, and now it seems odd that you for some reason this person seems familiar to you, even though you don't know nothing of this person, but this person feels so familiar to you that you have this feeling inside your body was like, I know you from somewhere. So that's what I'm explaining, right? Because at some point that could have been to all these other people, which at least I don't know, because I can go back as long as I remember anything like that. But I remember, so it could be that, it could be your souls, rekindling from the departure of one life to another. What if that's it? You finally caught up to your future, and there's one podcaster. I don't know why he. At first, it didn't I would see him, but we call, but I forgot when. But there was a part where I'm like, why does it feel like it? For me, it's like, why does it feel like I've met this guy before? And maybe it's the way he talks, I'm probably around people who have talked like that, very businesslike. And as I said, I could just not remember that part because it was insignificant for me at that time. But now it's recall where it's popping up, and it's just like it's one of those things where I'm like, it's like before it's like for some reason it's like for some reason it feels like I've dealt with this person, even though I have no recollection of dealing with this person. Maybe I have, but because where I work, or my previous jobs, maybe, but or where he talks, because he's kind of like a like. So tell me, oh, he has that like that voice, and you're familiar with people like with that kind of voice, and so it could be that, or it could be that little spiritual realm where you're like, oh, eh, in the past life we knew each other, now we're back together, and now we're just rekindling these moments that were lost before we entered this new life. But I think maybe I think deja vu could be that. And I'm not sure if I talked because I know I spoke about deja vu. And I'm not sure if I have this much clarity with that. Would I have it about it now? But maybe deja vu is the future, and you're finally catching up to the future, and you're like, oh, in this case, uh, here's if I ever meet that podcaster either in his studio or out in the public, then I will let you know who it is. But right now, I just don't know. That's when I was in bed laying down. Then I'm like, thinking, and this thought keeps popping on my head of this fucking guy. I'm like, why am I? Then the thing of is that why in my head, I'm like, why does it feel like I know who this guy is, or who I've met him before? I've dealt with him before. When I know I haven't, at least I know of that I remember, because maybe I have, and I just don't remember it. But if I meet him in the future, then that's one of those things I've like, maybe deja vu is the future. You're catching up to the future. Either you're catching up, like I'll go to Arrival, watch the Arrival. She's on her phone. She's like, yada yada yada. Hurry up, pick up the phone. She doesn't know what to say to this guy, and then she goes to the future, and then the future guy is like, oh yeah, whatever. I can't forget what you told me, and he starts repeating in Mandarin, I guess, and then she repeats everything he said to him on the phone. even though she didn't know at the time, only because the only way she knew because of the future. And maybe this is, it sounds crazy, and I don't want to like, come off as that, but maybe that's what deja vu is. And right now, where I've met it in Wendy's, where I've met it, maybe this is where I'm seeing into the future. At least my mind is. So mating, as in when I went to, I've been to Wendy's. I've eaten in that area. I went inside the store and ate inside. I worked there, and only when I opened that cabinet door to take out the trash did like this deja vu hit. Like I've been here, and that just set me. That just made things felt weird. It has stuck with me for a minute. I think I worked there in 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. That's when I worked there. So it was during COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID. So probably 2019, 2020, or 2021. I know I've been at my recent job for 5 years now. It says 5 years. So now I'm trying to think. Yeah. Uh, what do you call it? But I've remembered this for like at least 5 years, 5 to 6, 7 years. I don't know why. And I think it's one of those memories. Memories are supposed to be kept just to maybe the memories you are remember in my case, because I remember things a lot better than some. Maybe memories are deliberate, and maybe this is one of those deliberate things where they're like, maybe you're gonna talk about something, and maybe people are going to listen to that. And as I mentioned, that's when I met Deja Vu on that day. It was when I took out the trash. In this case, I don't have no recollection of dealing with this person. I don't know how big of a podcaster is, but he's like one of the top podcasters. And he could have obviously went to the area to where I worked at. He's like a serious guy. He's like a business guy. So and I don't know. I just there's this weird feeling I've been having with like I've as like I every time I see him, like I felt like I've dealt with you before, and it just goes back to maybe just watch the arrival. I mean arrival, and yeah, I guess you'll get what I'm trying to say. And as I said, if I meet this guy either out of his studio or in person, then yeah, then I'll be like, yeah, I've met this person. And then again, what is that? Is it just as simple as you caught up to the future? Because when I open that cabinet to the Wendy's to get the trash and stuff like that, I mean, what significance is that other than maybe explaining deja vu, and people are like, oh my god, maybe we need to take, maybe people are going to start seeing that, or it just say by luck somebody just by luck somebody sees this, and like, and then they're like, oh shit, that's kind of what's happening with me. And then at least maybe that spreads, and in this case, bring light to my recall. But or because in this sense, I don't see the significance of me remembering that point in life of grabbing the trash from Wendy's. There's no significance to it other than being like weirded out by this experience I just experienced of deja vu at the time. Because I just remember opening that cabinet door, and I'm just like dumbfounded. Like, why does it feel like I've been here? And I'm thinking in my head, sensible reasons. I've eaten here and stuff like that. So it might be the chance of me just doing something I wasn't supposed to do. Maybe I was like, oh, I'm trying to look for something like napkins or ketchup packets, or trying to throw in the trash. And I open this cabinet, and or it could just be this was part of my future and I finally caught up in recall, or this could be this guy has an idea on deja vu, which kind of seems legit, and whatever the case may be. And that's the only thing I want to really emphasize. If I talk to this guy in either way, then yeah, I'll let you know who the guy is. He's it's like a business. I think he got in trouble recently, and he's very like punctual. He's like a very businessman. But just lay in bed and I just here keep this deja vu idea, and this guy keeps popping in my head. That'd be crazy though to think about that, like the familiarity, and maybe that part where it's usually when I see that reference of it's like if I know you for somewhere, it's usually like a love movie. So maybe that explanation gives a better insight what I'm trying to convey, but maybe that they 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 would never have seen each other, but the only reason why they know each other because of the future being present. And maybe in my case, obviously I met that day, boom. Then I had that deja vu. In that case, I guess they will see each other and deja vu. In this case, I haven't met this person, but I have that same feeling of like I've known you from somewhere. And as I mentioned, this could go to anything I've watched that I know if I haven't felt that feeling of like I felt like I had an interaction with you, which hasn't happened other than wishful thinking of going on Joe Rogan or any of these other podcasts I actually like listening to. This case is like I don't even listen to this guy. I mean I there's this recent interview he did, but you know that's it. I mean I've seen him before on somebody was watching him and the shit he was doing, and it's like that, but it's like that's all I'm aware of him. And I don't know where I was going with that. But just think about that. When you have deja vu, or when you have this sense of familiarity, Jesus Christ, when you have that sense of like knowing you've dealt with this person. I think that was the case. In my case, where they are, hey, oh, that's what I was gonna go with. When I went into when I was working at Wendy's and I opened the cabinet, then that's what deja vu, like hit my head. Same thing with lovers who feel like they've known each other from we call deja vu, like like you seem familiar, something like that. In this case, where I don't have no interaction with this person, stuff like that, maybe that's a silver, because I talk about branches of the future. Uh, depending on the path you go, you're going to continue to uh, branch out. But whatever the case may be, at some point it's going to either follow the path they want you to follow or the path you have free will to follow. And maybe this is the case of the path you're doing either free willingly or to their path they set forth for you. It's starting to solidify that now, okay, this part is gonna happen at some point no matter what. It's just gonna happen. And I guess the reason why I'm able to, I guess the reason why the idea would be the reason why I'm able to see that before it happens is because in the real world, you're not gonna find your lover on some maybe that's the case, but in reality the chance of that happening is like, the percentage is really low, like 10% or whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, it's gonna be like that. But in my case, this person is a popular figure, so I'm gonna see him. I actually see this person, and then that's why I'm able to have those deja vu moments. And I think that's one of those things. I mean, I have several deja vu moments. Maybe when I did something or whatever the case may be, but I have had those instances. I just don't remember. I just remember the Wendy's one, and that happened like 5 to 6, 7 years ago. Because I just remember how weird that was. Because I just remember like I never been here, but this feels so fucking familiar. And this this could be me able to see the future because of he's a public figure, and the familiarity has finally the branch is finally solidified that I will meet this person someday. I thought, I thought, but if I, as I said, if I see this guy, if I meet her, I'll let you know. I'll let you know because that'll be fucking crazy. Okay, that's it.